If I were a Bachchan with or without an extra H or a Pandey give or take an extra A, I would be exc. Eatingly insulted by this gangster comedy to coin a new name for a genre that thinks gore and giggle. Are blood brothers in that a hero with a glass eye who proudly says he loves to kill is the GHT of hilarity, but then for any individual or community to feel affronted by this insanely iconical ode to the cult of gangsterism would be an overreaction. Bachchan Paandey BP insults any and every species of mankind from stammerers to spitters. From Smeetar Patil to Marlon Brando, the Brando jokes shows much later in the plot when the audience has stopped listening. Sanjay Mishra, who seems to have fallen on bad days, plays Akshay BP Kumar's third or fourth sidekick depending on which side you are counting from. His speech deficiency is supposedly a huge source of amusement for the SCRI. PT writers, of which there are 6 in the credit titles, including producer Sajid Nadiadwala, who by the way also makes a guest appearance at the end, a versatile talent if ever there was one. The 6 screen writers also seem to think people spitting one another is funny. At one point in the narrative, meandering course, a multi-course meal, indeed everyone is seen spitting on everyone. Kriti on Arshad Akshay on Pankaj Tripathi, who has the thankless role of being BP's Gujarati acting coach with a Jew accent that falls off faster than Akshay Kumar's makeup to look like a scruffy and baked gangster. The brains behind the film have no idea of continuity sheets. The color of Akshay BP's teeth, for example, keeps changing from decalcified white to a coal-stained toothpaste-free dark. BP is also seen it perfectly manicured fingernails to match Kriti Sanong's boutique of ever-changing bright-colored nail varnish in a township where there are no saloons or parlors, just lingering shades of long leg. Lawlessness parked in the basement of brainlessness. Akshay Kumar's portrait of a wild West hero owes more to Allu Arjun's Pushpa. At one point Akshay even tries to establish his own signature and step but gives up than to Jigathanda. The actor is in serious need of an emotion control coach. And no Pankaj Tripti's buffoonish acting teacher won't do. The 6 screenwriters are united in the belief that the 2017 Tamil blockbuster Jigathanda is worth a stab and a gunshot at a rollicking remake. Whether this criminally subverted crime comedy is actually related to Jigathanda or not is debatable. I bring up this minor detail as the entire idea of filmmaker Kriti Sanong and her sidekick CK Arshad Vasi setting off to make a film on a dreaded criminal is ripped from a South Korean film called A Dirty Carnival. So to subvert a Beatles song, all these loony people, where do they all bellow? A veteran like Mohan Agashe plays a comatose who is bumped off the minute he regains consciousness, thereby sparing himself the ordeal of actively participating in the perverse prance of parodic violence that this film revels in. Poor Seema Bishwas, who once was a warrior, has no dialogues until the very end when she melts down in Beta Akshay Kumar's arms. By then the audience is so bewildered by the goings-on it just wants to flee through the fire escape, instead slipping in the puddle of blood and tears. And why insult the memory of Smeetar Patil by giving her son Prateek Babbar the role of Akshay? Yes, 5th or is it 6th sidekick and naming his wife Smeetar? That's crass insult to injury situation. There are many problems with the intended humor of Bachchan Paandey. But the biggest of them all is a glassy-eyed hero who thinks it's funny to kill people, not realizing that the death of good taste and de-edifying aesthetics is a bigger tragedy than the loss of human life in the hierarchy of love, life, and crime in cinema. This one just breaks your heart with its insouciant lunacy. Subhash K. Jha is a Patna-based film critic who has been writing about Bollywood for long enough to know the industry inside out. He tweets at Subhash K. Jha. Read all the latest news, trending news, cricket news, Bollywood news in India news and entertainment news here. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.